Hello everybody and welcome to round 11 of the Autobahn Sportscar Challenge for season 14. We've arrived at Circuit of the Americas for the fourth last round of our season. For the second half of our 14 race calendar, taking place entirely in North America. After this, in 2 weeks' time, we're going to Sebring, Mosport and then Road Atlanta, all over the course of the next few months as we wait to crown our champion on the 7th of April. This, though, is probably one of the, and probably the most technical circuit remaining here at Circuit of the Americas. Lots of discussion before this race about quite how these drivers are going to get to grips with this circuit, especially in the prototypes, which are not particularly designed to be going at the slow speeds you often end up going at this circuit. It is myself, Ewan, and James Parfitt with you again for another round, and yeah, it's a contrast to the other rounds we've still got remaining, and it comes off the back, of course, of a great round at Belle Isle, where we've got some grandstand finishes at the end of that hour-long race. Thoroughly enjoyed it 2 weeks ago. Hopefully we'll see something similar here tonight.
We won't. It's a completely different circuit, and not one that I enjoy. I have to be honest, I am not a lover of Coda. Belle Isle was high, it was twisty, there was walls there that people ended up in at times. But this is a little bit more wider, a little bit wider, it's a lot wider. There's more areas for them to overtake cleanly. There's not going to be the drama that we probably saw at Belle Isle. And I think at the moment, if Pat Pelshat, Robert Tinsey, Haley and Eisenring can all deal with the traffic in and around them, I can see them just walking away with this. I'm a little bit worried that this could be probably over by, with 45 minutes, I think.
Well, let's see. I mean, stranger things have happened. One thing that is going to be a real key to watch out later on is people driving through the pit lane and not stopping because of the incident limit. If you've ever driven this circuit in iRacing, you'll know that the track limits are very stringent indeed around this track, and the GTPs are really just not suited, especially the GTPs, just not suited to going as slow as you have to so often in that final sector. That's what makes it difficult. Another thing that makes it really tricky as well, and I had this problem when I was driving this circuit and have been in the past, the single monitor. If you're only driving on a single monitor, it's actually very difficult to see where you're going around this circuit. You'll notice watching here, just look at how much space there is to the inside when there is turning. There you go, through into turn 13. Look how much space there was down the inside there. Then have a look through here again when he's turning in. Look how much, that's a good 3 car widths to his inside there. You can't, that's Nathan Dale, by the way. You actually can't see where you're going at many points around this circuit on a single monitor.
No, you can't, and that's due to the left-hand struts you've got there as well on the left and right. It is very, because you can see there, he literally cannot see, and then the apex pops up in front of him. So it is going to be hard for the GTPs to deal with. I think this is something that we're going to have to look out for to see how they get on and what sort of control they have, because if you see it from his point of view now, he can't actually see the apex till it's very late. It kind of pops into sight. And that's going to be one of their issues. But if there's a car in the inside and we know the different lines going into turn 1, you've got that wide opening up line, and then you've got that tighter line, which everybody dives for at the beginning. It could cause some drama, but I'm hoping you guys are ready for this circuit. I know Robert Cass, who's 50-50 on whether or not he's learned Kota, which is worrying. He's feeling good, so, and he's going to have fun. Maybe, possibly not. So we'll see how he gets on here and see whether or not Robert can deal with this circuit or not, sitting in the GTPs, of course.
He is these days, after driving the LMP2s earlier on in the season. He's a GTP driver now. Yeah, I was enjoying reading his messages over the last couple of days. He said he did about 75 laps of practice, I think, yesterday, and got 75 incident points. So that's not a good sign either. It's not good news.
But it's so easy.
But yeah, exactly. Yeah. I was going to say it's so easy to pick them up around here. It's just the tarmac run. I think that the tarmac runoff around here does take away a little bit from this circuit. It could be a really characterful circuit in places with grass lining it, but unfortunately, you can run off the circuit so easily and get back on again. It just makes it very difficult. Well, that's not a good sign either, is it? Maybe he hasn't learned.
Yeah, maybe he needs to do 75 more. I don't know. Poor old Robert on that one. But that is the end of qualifying. We normally don't show all of qualifying guys across all classes. We normally do the last couple of minutes of the GTPs, and then we get into the race. Hellraiser, my heart goes out to your sleep schedule. My reply, it can't. We have none. So there we go. East Coast, thank you very much for joining us. Taylor as well, back again. He's excited for this one. And Carter Cunningham, who is not here currently this evening either. I was messaging Carter earlier on. He did tell me what he's been up to, but since then I might have had a snooze and completely forgotten. He's at a racetrack, I believe, somewhere as well. So he's at a racetrack, setting up for a test day at a track in South Carolina for the Indy Pro 2000 team. Works for as a data analyst. So there we go.
Oh, nice. Oh, very good.
Oh, no, he's getting ready for the 2025 season.
Exactly. Watching from the hotel room tonight, he said. He also said that the LMP2 field's looking tight in qualifying. It must be a great class to drive in this league. Yeah, very clever. He is, of course, in that class. A bit of self-advertisement from there.
Yeah, he's leading the championship, isn't it?
Yes.
If he wasn't leading, it would be a horrendous class to drive in. He's leading, so...
Yes, this is going to become a drop week, of course. You get two in this series, by the way, so he hasn't missed a race yet. So, and his worst result is actually fifth, so he'll be absolutely fine, I think. Let's have a look at the championship standings then, shall we? Now we're on the subject, because we are about to go into the race, but there's a 5-minute gridding process here, which gives us plenty of time to have a look at these. In the GTPs, it's Pat Pelchat who's leading the way by 33 points ahead of Nathan Dowd. The rest are quite far adrift now. Adolfo Perez, Dominic Durnenberg and Billy Smith round out the top 5. The others who are here today, Robert Cast is in 9th place. Vance Bauer is here tonight as well. He's 11th at the moment. I think Sheldon Rosenbaum is here as well. Yeah, he is. He's 12th in the standings. That's who you need to know about for tonight's race in GTP. In LMP2, Carter Cunningham is going to see some of that lead drop, that since he needs to finish in the top 5 or top 4 if he wants to gain some points. Caden Richardson is 3rd with Andrew Parker, Robert Cast. They're not too far away. Cast still, of course, with those points from the first half of the season when he was an LMP2 driver. Moisum's got that race win to his name now, and that lack of pressure on his shoulders put him in 6th place for the moment, although he wasn't at Belle Isle, unfortunately. So, for the first time tonight, and he is indeed since his victory. Kevin Binkley, Brandon Walker, Leif Peterson and Fozzie Fazillo round out the top 10. The GTD standings, we haven't got the championship leader there either. Ross Booth is away, and so his drop week will be used. Fortunately, again, for him, his worst result is 6th, so I think he'll be fine. Nicholas Davis, as a result, can't catch him tonight, as Bradley Haley is in 3rd place ahead of Young Park. Then Alex Simonic rounding out the top 5. Christopher Pies is here as well in 6th place, and then there's quite a big gap back to the rest. Dominic Zioli's 7th place, for example. He is here tonight as well. Now, this is the most interesting of the championships, I think, anyway. GTD AM, Joshua Wolf versus Ed Eisenring. 9 points separate them after Wolf took some points out of him in Detroit. Then it was Dale Green in 3rd ahead of Mark Kajowski and Chris Sherburne running out the top 5. Mirko de Souza further 6 points back ahead of Parker Dime, Morgan Smith, Tom Hammond and Austin Diltz rounding out the top 10. The biggest class in terms of drivers who have already been here this season. It's again the biggest class in the field tonight with 9 drivers. This is the grid. Pat Pelchat with the pole position ahead of Nathan Dowd. In 3rd place, it is Robert Cast and Adolfo Perez on his row. Vance Bauer, Dominic Durnenberg and Sheldon Rosenbaum round out the GTP field with 4 manufacturers represented. In LMP2, there's only one, of course. Robert Tinsey is on pole ahead of Andrew Parker and Moisa, with Derek Cyphers and Brandon Walker inside the top 5. Robert Scanian and Cancian, I should say, is ahead of Caden Richardson, who didn't set a time in qualifying. Bradley Haley's taken pole in the GT Freeze ahead of Dominic Zioli. Ed Eisenring's up to 3rd as the pole sitter for GTD, and that's a great result for him. Nicholas Davis alongside with Adam Satterfield and Christopher Pies next up. Joshua Wolf down in 21st, 4 positions behind Eisenring at the moment. Sherburne, De Souza and Dale Green are on row 12. Then at the back of the field, Tom Hammond is alongside Shane Hunter with Mark Kudrowski and Ryan Wasilewski at the back. They didn't set times. They're still getting themselves onto the grid. I'll briefly tell you about the team standings as well, because Composite Performance Platinum are still leading the way by 2.2 points over Composite Performance Titanium, and Sector 5 Racing are a further 1.2 or 2.2 points back. So that is where we stand at the moment in the point standings. The average is taken from the results from the day, which is how the points are allocated for every round. And there's drop rounds used in there and all sorts. They've already been used, though, by all of the teams. So they don't have any more to use if any of them are not here, like is going to be a bit of a problem for Carter Cunningham here today, although he's not involved in sorry, he's involved. He's in the Composite Performance Platinum team, of course. I just missed him. So that will be a bit of a points hit for them. We'll see how they get on. Gridding is just about to finish, just under a minute to go, and hopefully everybody gets onto the grid. I have noticed in these last couple of weeks, Sheldon Rosenbaum has been practicing, but then not racing in the Ferrari, unfortunately. I'd like to see his Ferrari on the grid. We are going to see Turnenberg's Ferrari at least, but hopefully we get all 7 of the GTPs onto the grid here.
Yeah, I'm not looking too hopeful, along with Mark Kudrowski and Ryan Waszalewski, Dominic Zioli, Robert Cation, Robert Tinsey still not on the grid, Sheldon Rosenbaum, Nathan Dowd don't have long left. They have got precisely 20 seconds. So I don't know if we're going to have, we could be 5 drivers short here off the grid straight away. Chady in YouTube chat. Good luck, guys. Everybody on that one. Yeah, so we're missing, I think we're going to end up missing 4 drivers here.
Yeah. I think we're going to end up missing 1 from each class at this rate. Yeah. Robert
Yes, we
Kenson,
are.
unfortunately, yeah, not getting onto the grid either. So there you go. 4 missing, unfortunately, at the beginning of this one. That'll leave us with 6 GTPs, 6 LMP2s, 4 GTDs, and 8 GTD AMs. I make that 24. I can't.
Yes,
I've
you're
got
correct, sir.
less fingers than that. Okay.
Well done.
Thank you. Yeah, it's quite a field, but you can now join the series for free, by the way. Carter Cunningham announced. Don't get any ideas.
What do you mean don't get any ideas? Why can't I join?
Because you got to broadcast it.
I'll do it from the car. It'll be all right.
That could be tricky. Yeah, it is now entrance free for the final 4 rounds, and so the Discord links in the description if you're interested on a Monday night. Pat Poshat, though, is going to work his way forward towards another start line here and another potential race win for him. He's been so dominant this season. He's now got 4 in a row for the first time this season. Wonder if he can make it a big 5 here today at Circuit of the Americas.
Well, we're going to find out very, very shortly as they're on their way around 17 and 18. We will accept an in-car commentator. See? Bargain. I'm there.
But where's the stream going to come? Where's the pictures going to come from?
My car.
Not me.
Yeah, my car. Maybe not you, surely. I don't know, car. I don't think that's going to work, mate, because I've got to try and press all the buttons at the same time. As much as fun as I would have, I'd be in the LMP2, because that's probably about the only car I could drive, to be blatantly honest, to a half reasonable level.
Not even a GT.
Maybe the McLaren, Corvette. I've been loving them too lately.
Right, fair enough. Meanwhile, the driver... Oh, immediately Pat Poshat goes, not waiting around. Caston Perez, they were forming up 2 by 2. They were expecting a bit more of a hold there on the front straight, but Pat Poshat goes immediately here. Nathan Dowd was waiting for it, and he's going to challenge his fellow Acura driver in towards turn 1 on the outside line. That's very deep on the brake from Perez, who goes in towards turn 1 and drops down the field as a result there. That was far too deep on the brakes, in fact, and he drops down. Parker holds on to the lead in LMP2 just behind. What about the GTs? Bradley Haley off to a separate start down here, of course. They don't start with the prototypes. In towards turn 1. It's always a big tie-up, and they will get out the other side all right with Bradley Haley still in the lead here in the Mustang.
Yeah, a couple of people got away well. Pat Poshat got off the line, left them all for dead in that final corner. So a great job from Pat. He's now escaping off down the road, ready to go into turn 11. Then in the LMP2s, Andrew Parker has escaped away from Robert Tinsey, and Derek Cyphers in the background who's just been overtaken. Oh, Islam's got to get that stopped. You ain't getting that stopped, bud. Way too quick. Don't come on. Ooh. All right, maybe try and come on.
It was the grass there stopping you from coming back again, and there's the weaving around afterwards. Yeah, this is Joshua. I noticed it on the opening lap, and Joshua Wolf has got no rear end on that McLaren. This is big news. It's the GTD AM Championship leader who has gone off here. It was a 3-wide moment, and he's gone across the front end of one of the Porsches. Bang, straight into the wall down at turn 2. You don't often see that out there, but Joshua Wolf has found the wall, I'm afraid, and he's going to drop points here, by the looks of things this evening, his drop week is actually a worse finish than the worst finish you can have in this round because of the amount of drivers who are here. So this is going to count for Josh Wolf, and at the moment his main rival's leading this race.
Yeah, he is currently in class, Ed Eisenring, doing a great job in the GDD AMS, but for him it's all over and done with. We've got Dominic Zaioli, who's having a good old go at Bradley Haley with Nicholas Davis in behind him. They're on their run round 17 and 18 at the moment. Pelchat still leads the GTPs and is opening up well over a second gap currently. So are we going to see the GTDs battling away, keeping all the action on track? We have got Dominic Dorenberg, but he has got Vance Poe, whose livery I love, by the way. Fair play, Vance. That looks absolutely amazing. And he's racing in with Dominic Dorenberg.
Yep. It is not serious, isn't it? Just sandwiched in between Dorenberg and Perez, who are looking pretty similar in composite performance liveries. The only thing distinguishing them, of course, is the Ferrari versus the Porsche, as you can see there on the circuit. There they are, both in the same shot. Same goes for Robert Cast, actually, up ahead, who's going well so far, considering how he's been downplaying himself in the Discord all evening. He's doing well so far, and he's in a podium place. Down the back straight they go, in towards turn number 12. This is going to be single file for the GTPs. The real game is going to begin when they get into traffic, which is going to be a nightmare around here. These cars are about 15 seconds or so a lap quicker, but it's quite a long lap, so it might be a while until we see some lapping.
Yeah, I think it's going to be at least probably 7 laps, maybe 8 laps that we might see. Doing the math on 8 times 15 gives you a lap time roughly around of the GT3s, and I think it's going to be quite a while, but they've got loads of room. I'm not overly worried. They have got loads of room. Battles again down in the GTDs. Currently Brandon Walker in the LMP2s. Vance Boa still chasing down Dominic Dorenberg. We do have Josh Wolf in the pits. He has been in there for 2.5 minutes, 2 minutes 40 in fact. We've not got Wasilewski, Rosenbaum, Kashian and Kudrowski. So unfortunately them guys have not taken to the start. So we've lost one, as you say, one of each class right at the beginning. But GTDs again leading the way, showing us their class here as they're racing each other at the moment as we go on board with Ed Eisenring, who's chasing down Chris Payes. Now a different class battle, doesn't really need to get involved here for Ed. He's just got to stay ahead of De Sosa, who is behind him, mind you, only half a second. Could work out, could not work out for Ed Eisenring, depending on how he deals with it.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't need to get involved for now, but, you know, if he is slower here, Payes, than Ed Eisenring, then the AM leader might need to make an overtake just to protect his own first position. We'll see on that. Very close out of the final corner here between Chris Sherburn and Adam Satterfield here in the number 1 Porsche. The qualified second did Satterfield, and I think he was the driver who Josh Wolf crashed over the front of. So he dropped back a little bit as a result of that. Now trying to regain some of those places again in towards turn 1. Not going to manage it there. He'll be on the outside at 2, and he will barely have his nose alongside by the S's, but it might still work. He's run right round the outside, and he's been given a lot of room by Sherburn, and he does get back into the podium places again.
Oh, Sherburn and that Acura, you might as well open up your door, son, and got yourself robbed. He literally gave him loads of room coming through, and maybe for Sherburn, I don't know, because he's in the same class, so he really should be fighting him, but he didn't really, with 54 minutes on the clock there, unfortunately for them. We've also got behind Shane Hunter, who's having a go at Tom Hammond. This is a Mustang Acura battle. The Acura seems quite popular here as well, which is quite strange sometimes, but it is a new car, so lots of people do take it. As I say, it can be very Audi-esque, but they've got to be a little bit more wiser in the Acura. It'd be interesting to see how this one pans out, whether or not we're going to see any going round.
It's always the way with the new car. A lot of people want to try it, and a lot of people want to drive it, and we've got a couple of them here tonight in the GTD AM class only. It's mostly Mustangs in the GTD class, and so we've got a bit more variety in AM, and that's a good thing. Although it's Porsche 1, 2, 3, which isn't a great sign for what I just said. Morris, meanwhile, in towards turn number 1, looking to regain some of those places. He lost down in towards 11 a few laps ago. That will be one of them. Caden Richardson breaks too late, locks up, goes on the outside line at turn number 1. And Morrison goes straight through in towards the first corner. That is, well, that was very easy in the end, but that's exactly what happens around here quite often. There's mistakes aplenty.
Yeah, and generally going into turn one, because you're going too hot, because you're going uphill, you think you can take a little bit more speed, and then before you know it, you're in the, doing what Caden Richardson did here as well. I'm trying to keep an eye on a Nathan Dowd Cass battle. Cass has closed in a little bit on the back of Dowd, but there are times it keeps fluctuating between 7 tenths and 4 tenths. So at the moment, it's out of that 5-3 at the moment, but we'll see how that one pans out and whether or not Cass can get close. As you say, he's not been singing his praises all week at this circuit at all, to be blatantly honest with you, as he's been having a right little, I don't know, it's not really a moan, it's more of a statement of everything he does at COTA, which I've been reading. It's been quite interesting, to be fair. I've expected it as a Robert Cass blog or online blog or something like that. I think he should do one of them. That would be quite interesting.
Yeah, he's been chatting away about the not really moaning about it actually, but just sort of getting on with the task at hand, knowing that moaning's not going to change the circuit. Indeed, no one's going to change the circuit. It's on the calendar. So instead of moaning, I might as well put that energy into just dealing with it, and it looks like that's paid off for the moment. The one thing I am worried about for everybody, though, is off-tracks. Now, in the first 10 minutes, when you've got the start of the race, you know how many off-tracks you can use, you feel like you can go a bit crazy. You might be regretting that when there's 22 minutes to go rather than 52, because they creep up on you very quickly indeed. Vance Bauer now is having Adolfo Perez creep up on him for 5th position at the moment, and he looks like he's been knocked back a bit. He was challenging Durnenberg not that long ago, but no longer.
No, he's not. I do wonder whether or not he's made a little bit of a mistake there for Vance Bauer, and Adolfo Perez has managed to close in the 2.5 tenths to 9 at the moment, and we got that run down from 11 to 12, which is going to be the main opportunity here for overtakes. I am expecting kind of Adolfo Perez, if he can get a little bit closer, he's probably got another 100 meters to go, which is going to be very, very closed very, very quickly, and Bauer manages to hold on. So whether or not Perez couldn't get through on speed, couldn't utilize the draft, or he may just not have wanted to and was trying to hold on to fuel.
I'd be interested to see if he is doing that. I think the mistake, and here he goes towards turn 15, excuse me, on the inside line. That was a nice move from Perez. That's exactly what the final sector can produce. I think the racing round here can be underrated sometimes, because the opportunities there through the final sector are actually pretty good, and Perez certainly used one of those there down the inside of Vance Bauer. Yeah, I would have been surprised if Perez decided to stay behind him and save fuel. I'll take your point, because it's often the sensible thing to do at this stage, but for a driver who went wide at turn 1 and clearly qualified a lot better than Vance Bauer did in the Cadillac, I think it would be too costly in terms of time for Perez. Now that he's through, he can try and chase down Dominic Durnenberg, and maybe even trying to chase down to get back on the podium again.
Yeah, I think that's probably going to be the best thing if he's able to here, but he has got 3.6 seconds to Durnenberg in front, so we'll have to see how he gets on and whether or not he's going to be able to pull away from Bauer. It's been really hard with Perez this season, he's inconsistent-ish, he's been involved in a few things, he's put himself in a few things, and nice for him to have a clean race. I think it would be well deserved, but he sometimes ends up in his own little dramas.
Yeah, sometimes. He is at this moment in the championship the third closest challenger to Pat Pelchat's third place at the moment. 22 points ahead of Durnenberg, 36 behind Nathan Dowd. He's kind of in a world of his own there. Is Perez. Had a good start to the season, actually. Second place at Daytona, just in behind Pat Pelchat. So it's good signs early on there, but it's dropped to third since. Meanwhile, traffic is upon us for the first time. There's one of the corners where there's a big advantage for the prototypes. They're certainly not all like that. These final 3 corners are a pretty big advantage for the prototypes. But turn 1, very similar speed on the actual apex itself, although the straight line speed is a bit different. Through the S's, it's a no-pass zone almost the whole way through anyway, because the line's so narrow. And you mentioned that the circuit's wide. Yes, that's true, but actually I think for the wide circuits on a calendar, this is the circuit where actually the racing line is narrowest, and that's what you've got to be looking at a little bit here. The dives down the sharp corners and how wide the circuit is at that point, that's all well and good, but look through here. So the racing line is very, very narrow through parts.
Yeah, he's got to go and travel around the longest part, isn't he? He's got to go around the outside. He's going to look. Is he going to look at the inside? He's not. He's going to hold off now. Through the right-hander he goes. Manages to make it work. It's going to be a very, very tough corner to get right because he took it so wide. But on the run down now, in hindsight, he should get this one, and he'll get one more going down the straight. If he can get 1, 2, and 3 here, because we're lapping at the up to 4th place. That was Ed Isering we've just got past. This is going to be Chris Pays, who's going to just evaporate in literally that. There you go. Not going to get 1, 2, and 3. Now the problem is now he's coming into the difficult part. You are right, as I say, it does get narrow very, very quickly coming out of 12, especially with 13, 14, and 15. So what he really needs is for them 3 GTDs to be off down the road. He needs them to be getting in through at least 16, 17, and 18, so he's able to go around the outside if he can.
Yeah, it's a little bit about timing, but also just dealing with the traffic when you get to it as well. Here you go through this corner. Look at the extra speed you can carry. You're watching, by the way, an absolute master at this. Pat Poshat is absolutely fantastic through the traffic. You can absolutely tell by the lines he's taken that he has done multi-class racing many times before, which of course we already know, but you can just tell that by the way he's driving, the way he weights into the corners, focuses on the exits and utilises the straights as well as possible. There, Robert Cast not quite as comfortable around this circuit and comfortable with the multi-class lines. You can see that in the difference now between he and Nathan Dowd. That gap was half a second before. It went to nearly a second and a half there. It's going to remain like that because there's going to be a GT separating them now through the S's, maybe 2.
Could be at least 2. I'd be interested to see what he does coming up to this Mustang. Got to take the pale shot now around the outside. He does manage to make it work. Here comes Cass trying to do the same thing. Don't you dive.
That's the line through there. So for those that are unfamiliar with racing round here, right round the outside through turn 6, there is enough grip out there in the prototypes because this circuit does see enough multi-class racing for you to be able to manage that, and then have the inside line or ideally get clear in time for turn 7. As you saw that time, Cast wasn't quite clear, but as long as you're a long way alongside and you've been going around the outside through the previous corner anyway, the GT will absolutely know you're there and they won't mind, although they won't love it, they won't mind you being on the inside there through turn 7.
Definitely not. They both make it through cleanly, right? Let's be real. That's the ideal kind of thing to do here. Now we'll go down into LMP2s. We've got Islam and Walker having a nice little battle. Satterfield and De Sosa are, well, they're there, actually. I did wonder whether or not they were side by side. Satterfield's going in to the right-hander. Well, their gap was like at 0.01, so I kind of guessed they were close together.
Yeah, well, there's the evidence. Satterfield moves up to second, so it just makes you wonder a little bit what would have happened if he'd have had a cleaner lap 1, because he's clearly very quick. Got past Sherburn quite easily. He's raced up to the back of De Souza and got past him as well. This is a very good showing indeed from Adam Satterfield here in the Porsche. He's so far just got the 1 race result to his name, the one performance this season. That came at Spa in early November. Clearly not able to commit to a full season, but just doing the odd round here or there. Good to see him here for the first time in about 7 rounds, I think. And he's putting a good account of himself up here. Second place. I wonder if he can chase down Ed Eisenring, who'd really rather he didn't.
Yeah, I'm sure he didn't, but when we look at the fuel limits, GTD Zams and GTD Pro, 67%. So if Satterfield and Eisenring run these dry, they should theoretically, being in the same car, should pit at exactly the same time. That's the theory. We've got 90% fuel for the LMP2s, 80% for the GTPs. So we'll have to keep an eye and see how they get on. We've now got a little battle developing here. Cyphers, Walker and Islam. This could be going really well, or we could end up having fireworks.
This is a sign of a battle of drivers that haven't encountered traffic yet. This is far too close for drivers to have been through traffic around this circuit. Cyphers in the blue, just up in front. Walker in the composite car in the middle. We're on board with him now. And then Murray Sam at the back there as well. He's looking to work his way back through again after running wide himself down towards turn 11. It shows you how costly some of these errors can be, actually. Islam only went wide through 1 corner, lost 3 places because it was lap 1. And now, look, he's kind of stuck, really, in this battle for 4th place. Or 3rd place, rather.
Yeah, and what's worse is they aren't far away from the back end of the GTDs.
No.
So we'll keep an eye out on that one as well, because they are not far from the back end of the GTDs. So keep an eye out.
Eden Richardson has been off as well, by the way, in the last couple of laps, and he is out. Not been enjoying his evening here at Circuit of the Americas. He's through the S's. Wonder whether he's clobbered one of these curbs.
Sausage curbs.
Yep, there you go. Oh, and then he's gone over the second one as well. Big spin, and he does find the barrier. Well, that's a shame for him, and that's the end of his day.
There's eBay carbon fibre there, composite carbon fibre, fresh from eBay. If you want to go and purchase it now, check out ebay.com. Composite carbon fibre.
We're not sponsored.
Oh no, there are many other auction sites available.
Yeah, he's not part of the either composite performance team that are going for the title, by the way, in the team's championship. So he won't be costing his team too many points. They're over 50 behind at this point. Anyway, this is so close now between Cyphers and Walker. And the GTs are just around the corner here, and there's wide from Walker here, or Cyphers, excuse me. Walker will try and go through on the inside line, and he looks like he's got it. That is very wide. Oh dear, I thought Cyphers was going to slide straight into the side of Mo Islam there, but he got away with it, and he's kept it on the road. Now it is Mo Islam going to take 2 in 1 here. He's taking one through the final corner from a mistake. Now he's got the run on Walker, who didn't get a very good run at the final corner. Inside line for Mo Islam. Oh, it's quite close. He just about gave the room there. He could have done the naughty thing, which would have been to just shut the door. He did the gracious thing, gave his rival some space on the outside line, and Walker took that space and used it to take back third place again.
Yeah, Walker there over Mo Islam. I am surprised Islam did shut the door. I think that would have been a done thing. I am going to be interested. I just want to pick up a Parker to see how he deals with some more. You're not going to get both. You're not going to get both. My God. I thought he was going to join.
Probably looked closer than it was.
I know, but there we go. Look, I've allowed one heart attack during the race, all right?
I know. It's well, I thought you already had one when Mo Islam was coming back on the circuit.
Well, yeah, I had one then as well. The thing is, if they could signify kittens and puppies, I think I would have had a litter of kittens by now, and probably puppies come after, to be honest with you. The amount of times we get on edge through multi-class racing. You are right. That probably was further away than I thought it was, but at the same time, it did look drastically close. So, fair play.
It's just the foreshortening of the camera angle on some angles, especially when you're low to the ground. Vance Bell, by the way, has come into the pit lane at the moment. Not sure really why. He's stopped in his box, has been for 15 seconds now, and he's out. Oh, that's the end of that for Vance Bell, unfortunately. It looks like he just drove in and then retired. I'm not sure there's any replay to watch or anything,
nope.
any story to tell there, really. He's just, he's just had enough.
Yeah, I can't give you anything. I've got nothing. No, I'm afraid not. He's literally, I've got entered pit lane, and that's it.
And he's gone. So just retired, unfortunately, in pit lane, and that is that for Vance Bell. I wouldn't be surprised to see pit stops from these GTPs, legitimate ones, before too long, because you can see them on the track map closing in a little bit now on the GTD AMs for the second time. Now, I don't think they're going to want to go through them for a second time here if they can avoid it. They'll go in the pit lane and take on the fuel that they require to get to the end of this race, and then they'll get back out in a bit more clean air, hopefully jump a few of them without having to pass them. That will be the way to maximise your race, I think. With just over 20 minutes gone, I think we are at the pit window stage now for all of the cars. Be a bit tight for the GT3s, but should be fine in the LMP2s and GTPs to make it all the way home, even if you wanted to pit from here, which many of them don't want to just for the moment. I think the LMP2s are going to run for quite a lot longer, but they do have the option at least to come in right now if they really want to.
Yeah, they do there as well. Jesus Garcia, I will look at Perez. That is kind of my broken Spanish there as well. But at the moment, Perez is not near anybody. He's not doing anything. I will show you the beautiful car very shortly once the LMP2s go through the GTDs. But at the moment, he's not near anybody, I'm afraid. He's chasing Dorenberg and he's a long way back. That
is the problem. In fact, there aren't any battles in GTP at the moment. around the outside for Parker. In fact, these battles in these bits of traffic for the GTD AMs on LMP2s have really split apart the battles here as well. It's closed up in GTD though, just up the road there. Bradley Haley on the defensive from Dominic Zioli and Nicholas Davis as well, and that's very close in towards turn number 1. Zioli climbing all over the back of Haley. This has a look of a battle to me that maybe there's been some fuel saving going on, but Zioli's body language at the moment is relatively aggressive, relatively trying hard to put pressure now on Bradley Haley, who so far is soaking it up and has led for the first 22 minutes.
Yeah, and this track probably suits this Mustang. It is twisty, but it's not as fast action twisty as Belle Isle, for instance. So it probably really does suit this car. You've got the straights to have a good run and open up the wheels of that Mustang, because we know it's got horses for days, let's be real about it. It's a ferocious beast when it gets going, but this is probably one of the easiest circuits to take this Mustang up, to be blatantly honest. And I think that's why we've got Mustang 1, Mustang 2 and Pays and a Mustang in 4th at the same time. So I'd be interested to see what Zioli does. As I said, he can be aggressive with some of the things he does, but at the same time we're hoping just here at the moment he might be a little bit more patient.
We'll see on this. I mean, LMP2s could very much throw this spanner in the works. Meanwhile, Islam versus Walker down in towards turn 12. Looks like Moisam has got the inside and has got the position. It's exactly the place to be. Maybe it was created a little bit by that traffic just in behind them there as well, but Islam won't care. He's up to 3rd place, back on the podium again, and looking good for that podium position as well in terms of speed. Derek Cyphers has not gone away either. He'll be putting the pressure on Walker now. It just shows traffic can take these chances away, but it can certainly give them to you as well.
Definitely can. Definitely can. No point you flashing him, son. Flash him to say you're going to go through. That's fair enough. Other than that, you got to get past him. Islam there. The thing is for Walker, this is where the situation for Walker lies at the moment. This is a panic situation. If you're in second, you've come into the, or you're second in the line, I should say, and you've come into traffic. Because Islam's got the option of being able to close this traffic up, and he can really make this difficult if he wants to go in through this next section. Because he should, in hindsight, and I say that loosely, should clear this Mustang by the time he gets down into turns 7 and 8 and 9. But how's he going to do it, and what's he going to do with Walker? Put Walker in behind him. That's the thing. Walker's now got to wait because Islam used... Oh, the Mustang hit him. Oh, and the Mustang... Oh, is it somebody else?
Oh, and it's more. It's still going on. It's still going on down here. Let's watch this from the very start through turn 6. Talking about that earlier on, that run around the outside, then the run to the inside. And yeah, you've got to be careful when you're on the outside. You're going to have a better run, and it completely runs over Mo Islam. And now the two of them come into contact afterwards.
Oh, it's Chris Pays.
Oh dear, Derek Cyphers gets caught up afterwards as well. So Pies, I suppose, and also Walker behind, a little bit flustered by this. A great avoidance by Walker. They completely forget about each other's existence. And Pies is the one who goes around. Unfortunately, he then clips Cyphers, who spins as well. That is really unfortunate for everybody involved there. But I'm afraid it starts with Pies getting into the back of Islam. He will argue, why did you throw it down the inside at turn 7 and stop after the apex? But I think if you're the car following there, for me, you've got to be careful.
The wording you used then, you got to be careful with. He didn't stop. He had the inside line, and there was a gap there, and the Mustang could see him. But I would go GTD situation if I was pointing fingers.
Yeah, I'm saying that's what the GT driver was saying at that point, where you stopped after the apex, and I'm not saying I'm saying that. No,
but unfortunately, he's now going to put Islam in pit lane. For me personally, I think Pays has got to be looked at and held responsible on that one. I think the thing is, he needed to slow down. I know this is going to be controversial. It's the faster car. You've got to make it cleanly. Well, Islam on that occasion did make it cleanly through. The Mustang, however, didn't cleanly brake and slow down. So for me, it was I would go Pays on that one all day.
Yeah, I think so. I think Paz would argue with you about that, but I think he might well get into trouble with it as well. Let's see what he did on pit lane. 14 seconds worth of a pit stop for him. I think that's probably a good thing and a good decision from him. Get yourself out of the traffic, get yourself into clean air, and he's got acres of space around him now, so he'll be able to get some clean laps in and get his head down again. The GTPs are right in the LMP2 and GT traffic at the same time now, and so Adolfo Perez is catching Dominic Durnenberg, who's catching Robert Cast, who every time they go through traffic seems to be losing time. That's a late move from Pat Pochat. He's got a big lead though, he's 10 seconds out front.
Go on, up you go. He's giving you room. There you go. Pochat goes through. 10 seconds out in front, and that's really just managing traffic. That is, when we talk about Pochat, you can see the management from him is just exceptional. Driven hundreds of these races, he's not going to do anything crazy. You've got to go round him. Wait. They sit there and say, and we talk about this when we come to multi-class, I'm going to try and choose my words carefully, right? Because the last thing I want is Carter messaging me saying, let's have a chat. Let's put it this way. For both of this to work, it's got to be done both sides, right? The LMP2, don't die from miles away. You're never going to make it in a month of Sunday. The GTD, lift off going into a corner. You know you're going to be better on in and out of the exit. So take a step back for a minute. Don't get yourself in trouble. It's got to be almost a dance. It takes two to tango. And unless these classes are going to work together, they're going to be treading on each other's toes. And that ain't a pretty tango by anybody's sight. What?
I don't know what a good one looks like. Meanwhile,
have you never seen a
31?
Oh my God, Mr. O'Leary. Have you never seen a tango either?
Of course, well, other than the drink.
No, I mean a dance. The tango
I've
dance.
seen one of them.
The tango dance?
No, I haven't. No.
Oh my God!
So,
your list of don'ts is just getting longer and longer and longer, isn't it?
It is. Haven't seen that.
Oh my God!
Haven't seen anything. Robert Cast is going to lose a bit of time there, just in behind these three, but he'll get them all on the straight, and this is where Durnenberg is going to lose out. This is where Perez is going to get a lot closer to the Ferrari, actually, because Perez isn't going to get them all down in towards turn 12, and so he's, or is he? Oh, they're quicker than I thought. Maybe the GTPs. Oh, well done. Durnenberg does get them all, and so it's all of a sudden is not a great advantage to Adolfo Perez, who now has to do it through the final sector. Now, luckily for him, there isn't actually that much difference through this part of the final sector between a GT and a GTP. Got to be careful. Oh, hello. That was pretty close there between Zioli and Perez. There's a small gap he put himself into there, Perez, and he's made it work. Then he goes towards the inside. You've got just about enough speed to do that in a GTP, and Haley was happy for him to do it as well. Probably pleased to see the back of the GTPs for another lap, to be honest with you. And so they carry on. There is the battle. Still interrupted by some LMP2s who are coming through. That's Derek Cyphers, who's still fourth, getting in the middle of these guys. But interestingly, they haven't really been separated by this big influx of prototypes coming through.
I think the thing is they've all stayed on one line. It was quite interesting when Haley moved out to allow Perez through. They all did it. It was like follow my leader. It was like sheep in a field, one after the other, all going out. And to be fair, that's probably the easiest way of dealing with traffic is follow what the guy's doing in front if you want to continue having that battle. And all three of these did it. Davis, Zioli and Haley. So fair play to them. Fair play.
Yep, they've done a good job here so far. 1, 2 and 3 in the GTDs. Closest challenger, by the way, to Ross Booth in the championship, looking to take advantage, is Nicholas Davis, who's currently in third place. Bradley Haley is third in the championship, first in this race. Dominic Zioli's seventh in the championship. He's missed quite a few rounds so far, as has most of the rest of the field. So it really is up to Davis and Haley to try and gain the points on Ross Booth today, and they will do, all things being well. Durnenberg gets close again to Robert Cast down in towards turn 12 as they continue to pass LMP2 traffic. The gap between LMP2 and GTP in terms of speed is not very big, and so some of these LMP2s, the leaders, for example, Parker, I mean, and probably Tinsey as well, they're only going to be lapped once during this race.
Yeah, I'd love to see the Ferrari in some... I only ever see the Ferrari in this series. I'd love to see it in a different colour. I know it's in the composite colours, don't get me wrong. Before you jump on me, I felt you coming then, to be blatantly honest, with a comment about, well, they are in team colours, James. I know they're in team colours. But I'd love to see. Oh, okay. But I'd love to see the Ferrari in a different colour. I think it would look amazing.
I know what you mean. This is one of the few cars on the grid, one of two. I've actually driven the Ferrari GTP. There you go. I don't own it, but I tried it out in a sim racing event where there were rigs out and stuff, and this was one of the combinations. It wasn't at Kota, thankfully.
Thank God.
But yeah, I've actually driven this car. It's actually it is quite nice, I've got to say. I did enjoy it, and I'm a little bit surprised. Much like we see in the Acura in the GTD, a little bit surprised more people haven't taken it on in GTP, because you're right, you don't really see it around very much in leagues, and that's a real contrast to the Acura, which you see around everywhere since it's new in GTD.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? The GTPs. Although we're getting loads of them, I still remember the days of the Porsche and the Audi. That was about the only choices you had. We're now getting an influx of GTD, Acuras, Porsches, Ferraris, Cadillacs, the whole thing. But the Ferrari isn't the loved one. When it came out, you kind of expected to see not hundreds, but at least try to expect
to be honest.
Yeah, loads of them in a series, but it doesn't get that much love, as Storenberg has just passed Cass. Cass kind of let it go and didn't really fight it that much. Yeah, you would expect to see loads, but you don't actually see as many Ferraris as you thought. I got excited when it was just Sheldon Rosenbaum in the Ferrari, and he hasn't turned up since he's picked it. So maybe it's the car. I don't know. Sheldon just don't like.
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. Durnenberg is through though, up into the podium, and maybe he can stay there as well. We have had a change for the lead in GTD, by the way. Dominic Zioli has gotten through on Bradley Haley now in GTD. Now that came as Moissan was coming through here. I actually thought it was somebody else in LMP2. There's another bit of lap traffic just after this, but there's the opportunistic driving from Zioli. Great driving down the inside into the S's is something you do not see very often, but he saw the LMP2 coming through. He said, I'll come through as well then, shall I? And he made his way through on the inside line. Very impressive. Now, has he been held back by Haley throughout this race so far, or are they just evenly matched? Now it's up to Bradley Haley to respond.
The thing is as well, Zioli's not really in the fight. He's a long way back behind Haley, he's a long way back behind Davis, and he's a long way back from Booth. Haley's been driving very conservatively when they come into traffic. Davis has dived for pit lane. Robert Cass is also in pit lane. Haley has been driving very, very conservatively. Takes a wider line, gives them bucket loads of room, avoids the netcode situation and any contacts. You don't want to get involved with any of that. Zioli, however, who's not really in... Don't forget, but Haley, this is his fight with Booth. Booth is not here. But this is his opportunity, because Booth's going to have a zero drop, that he can then pull points in on Ross Booth. So he needs to think a lot more than Zioli. Zioli can go for the win, banshee it up the inside and see what happens. Haley's got a lot more on the line. He's got a lot more to try and think about and deal with, especially when the fact we've only got four rounds left.
Yep, just 3 more to go after this one. We'll be live 2 weeks today with the next round, which is coming to you from Sebring on the 3rd of March. We'll be live at just past 9 o'clock Eastern time in America with the next round of the championship. Now, Pat Pelchat has seen the next round of GT traffic coming up ahead of him and thought, I'm going to pit in instead, shall I? And unfortunately, that's going to mean he's going to be back behind some of the LMP2s he's just passed. But it's now time for the race leader to come in. And imagine, with 35 minutes gone, some of these guys are going to be hitting the fuel limit anyway. Durnenberg and Perez follow him in, and Nathan Dowd carries on one more lap.
Yeah, Cass went in the lap before, so he's already gone through. He's going to start making his way through LMP2s. Nick Davis has gone into pit lane in the GTD. He's now 3rd in class, out of 4, mind you. But he is 16th overall, so fair play to him currently. We go on to the overall tower. You can see we've lost drivers at the bottom. Josh Wolf is still running. There he is. But he is currently a good few laps down away from Ed Eisenring, and by a few, I mean 9.
Yes, he is 9 laps down at the moment. That is a real shame for Josh Wolf. At least has got back out onto the circuit again. He's running for points, but Not sure he's going to get many more out of this race. In fact, we're getting towards the stage already where he might not be able to overtake anybody, even if they crash from here. So I play to him for carrying on and giving this a go. But I'm afraid this is this has been a difficult race for Wolf. He's going to drop down in the championship. He'll lose his championship lead as well as a result of this, I would have thought, as far as the one drop round points go. Anyway, we will have 3 rounds still to go. We'll apply the second drop round pretty shortly, and we'll have to start getting our calculators out, because I think at the next round we're going to start to get to the stage in the season where people might actually be able to seal the title with 2 rounds to go. So we'll keep an eye on that when we get to it. For now, the championships are all close enough that none of them can be sealed tonight.
No, which is good for us. We can keep all 4 going. That would be awesome. I'd love to go into the last round. Actually, no, I would not love to go into the last round with all 4 still up for grabs, because that would mean maths, and I would have to struggle to do maths at 3 a.m. here in the UK to try and work all this one out. I think I'd have to decide. I'd have to put a spreadsheet together and be able to just tap numbers in. I think, get it to work it all out for me.
Oh, it can be arranged.
Yeah, I think we're going to need one, aren't we? If we got all 4 rounds going, and you're going into the last round, definitely need a spreadsheet.
I'll get building in time for 2 weeks' time. Because,
okay, cool.
Yeah,
there you go.
Otherwise, we'll be in big trouble. Also for the teams championship, of course, as well, which, to remind you, is an average of multiple drivers' score put together from the same team and then added to the previous. So that gives us decimal places and all sorts. We will try and keep the top of that, because that's actually the closest of the 5 championships. Is the teams championship. That is certainly going to go down to the final race if things are to if current form is to be anything to go by. This is Robert Cast, stuck at the moment behind Adolfo Perez. Now, he lost loads of time in the pit stop phase somehow. His pit stop was the same time as Perez's, so I don't really know or see where he's lost all this time.
No, and there's no extension on the pit lane time either. If there was an extension by 30, 40 seconds, we could sit back and go, got to speed it better. There's no extension on the time. It's 21:28 for Perez, 21:53 for Robert Cass. So I'm not entirely sure. I know he allowed Donnenberg to go through before the pit lane cycle started. So maybe Perez just jumped him. I'm not really sure. His pit lane time was actually slower than Robert Cass, so I'm not quite sure how that one's worked out. But we do, yeah.
Oh, wow. Hang on. Nicholas Davis has got out well ahead of Dominic Zioli. Nicholas Davis' pit stop was really, really short, and Dominic Zioli, depending on which way you look at it, his was really short, or Zioli's was really long. If you compare it to Christopher Pies, then it's Dominic Zioli who's got the long stop, nearly 20 seconds in the box, when Nicholas Davis' stop was just over 13. Maybe he's going to go ahead of the Mustangs and steal the race win away here.
Yeah, that's very bizarre. How's Bradley Haley there? I think no, he peels off him. He got Haley on the inside of pit lane. That's what. Oh,
it wasn't even a good pit entry, was it?
No, sorry, I skipped away there. Just started going off yonder, but he gets it all wrong and nearly hits the tyre barrier.
Oh, that was close. Goodness me.
It wasn't a good entry, but somehow he's managed to come out front of Zioli. So fair play to him. But hold up. This might have been a white. Oh, sausage.
Oh, that's a big... Oh, wow, he's gone across the circuit as well. Now, yeah, where did that happen? Or when did that happen? I guess...
That was on lap 19. Yeah, it must
well, the reason I'm asking is because... so that's this lap, is it?
After his stop. It's just literally happened.
Yeah. So, I was going to say, because Bradley Haley is nowhere to be seen. Earlier on, he was around Bradley Haley. Meanwhile, in live pictures, Haley is coming in. It was Chris Sherburn who had the best view of it. Here up ahead, bouncing over the curb. You do not want to hit those. No. Sherburn just broken and avoided. So, Haley comes to a stop. Ooh. How long's the stop going to be? And is he going to be ahead of Nicholas Davis or not? It goes past 13 seconds. It goes past 14. Bradley Haley could be losing this race as well here to Nicholas Davis. Let's see down the pit straight whether he's going to get him here in the Porsche. Down the pit exit comes Bradley Haley in the Mustang. There he is on the exit. And Nicholas Davis is going to go through. Here comes Haley steaming into the corner, but Davis is on the right line, and he's going to have a gap as well from third place, just lurking. He looked like he was only just hanging on, and all of a sudden he's in the lead of this race.
Yeah, he will be now. 1.5 seconds, though. He hasn't got a massive gap, Ewan. He hasn't got a massive gap. Brandon Walker had an accident. That's what I was showing just as that all kicked off, so apologies for that one on there. Andrew Parker is in pit lane. Derek Cyphers is not pitted. Robert Tinsey has, so it'll be where Tinsey comes out in conjunction with Parker. You are right. Nick Davis is now just got to try and extend and hold on if he can. We'll have to keep an eye and see how Davis gets on. I really do want to see whether or not Parker is going to stay in front of Tinsey. And it is looking like he is, because he's already out. So Andrew Parker out in the front there at the same time. But for Nick Davis, he's got 1.1 seconds to that big ruffling Mustang behind him.
Can he hold on here for the final quarter of an hour? It's going to be a big job for him. Parker gets out in the lead of LMP2 ahead of Tinsey, and that is all to be expected. Cyphers, Walker and Islam should be the rest of the order by the looks of things there. That looks pretty stable. Cast still a little bit further behind Perez now, actually. And so Perez is actually catching Turnberg. That's one of the battles in GTP, but not much happening there. And in GTD AM, Ed Eisenring is still leading by nearly 5 seconds as well. So it's looking like a good day for him in the championship. Although, having said that, he's ahead of Davis because he's not stopped yet. We've not seen everything this evening yet from the GTD AM. Surely, I was going to say, they're going to be running out of fuel soon. And indeed, they are running out of fuel now. They're both the two leaders who haven't stopped yet, both come in.
Yeah, Davis is going to say thank you very much. I'm going to have some of that. Haley's going to go through. Sherborne's going to go through. Saying that, though, Sherborne has not pitted, so I do expect him to be coming into the... Oh, no, he's not. For Chris Sherborne, he's got Dominic Zioli tucked in right behind him. So, yeah. How long could what's he in? In an Acura. I don't see
how he's still out there, to be honest with you. Yeah, he's still not been in there. I don't really see how he's managing that with 2/3 of a tank out there for 45 minutes. Don't see that very often, but anyway, he's carrying on. He's the only one who's managed to do it as well. Eisenring gets out ahead of Satterfield, but what's the gap? Not big at all there for Ed Eisenring. So Adam Satterfield, and there, have a look. The undercut here has worked quite well. And then lap traffic coming through at the same time. He's not going to follow through. It is the S's, but this is real pressure now for Ed Eisenring on a race that he probably does need to win.
He doesn't need Satterfield putting him in under pressure like he is, but Satterfield is doing a great job putting him under that pressure. That's the thing for Ed Eisenring. So we'll keep an eye and see how this one gets on. I was just checking, yes, Satterfield is in Pro-Ams. Just a little bit worried. His number block said Pro there for a minute, but he is in Pro-Ams in GTDs. So, but at the moment, Eisenring's surviving.
He is. I say not a race he needs to win mathematically by any means. I just mean he needs to take advantage of Joshua Wolf having a bad day today and that crash through turn one ironically, with Adam Satterfield. Now, is he about to make a change to the championship standings in the GTD AMs in a second different way? Maybe. We're expecting, by the way. Oh, he is! There's contact! And they both spin round. He's got to be careful rejoining Eisenring, and he is. De Souza goes through on both of them. Satterfield is going to redress the place, but Ed Eisenring's down what will be second place.
Is he going to get involved, we say, right before the moment he gets involved? Wow.
Just looked like he just broke too late here. Drove into him.
Yeah.
Dear, oh dear. That was pretty careless, really, from Satterfield. Eisenring very nearly rejoined straight into De Souza. Thankfully, he stopped himself. Dear, oh dear. That is a big moment. It will have big consequences for the championship. Now, have these guys cost themselves so much time that Sherburne is going to get ahead of them? I think not, but, there's always a concern when someone's left out there for a long time. No, he's still stopped, so they'll all be back on the podium again at the moment. So it'll be De Souza, Eisenring, then Satterfield, but goodness me, Ed Eisenring's going to be pretty annoyed about that, and he's got a right to be as well. He was leading that race, and, there are question marks about whether he would have hung on to the lead, but he certainly wouldn't have wanted to lose it like that.
No, definitely not. I think for Satterfield, good thing for him is he redressed the position almost immediately. So I'm sure there was probably a little bit of thought in Satterfield's head going, shall I carry on? Shall I carry on? Shall I carry on? Oh, no. You know what I mean? I do wonder sometimes if drivers just turn around and go, actually, no, I'm not going to carry on. I'm going on. I'm moving on, taking the position. Up in GTPs, we've got Dornberg. Just got dived by Adolfo Perez. And, yeah, Dornberg's not... Oh, man!
He was not pleased about it. You could see the flashing of the lights, and there's contact down at turn 13. You could see that coming. Oh, dear, and he can't get going again here. Oh, dear, this is horrible. Rory's rear-wheel drive, of course, until a certain point where the hybrid gets deployed. It was coming there. Perez made a dive down the inside. I don't think it was particularly unreasonable, but maybe if Dunneberg had turned in like it was going to, it might have been a crash. Then Dunneberg tries to get the position back again. He's miles away from the apex. He's locking up straight into the side of the Porsche. He's the one who spins around.
Yeah, it just spits up gravel. Look at all the debris out on the outside. He can't get that grip down. And the thing is, that's a man driving angry. That is. That's a beast of a man who's really upset because whichever way you look at it, was contact. But whether or not Perez,
he's losing it now.
Yeah.
Oh, hello. Yeah, the tyres are gone, and he's lost his rhythm completely. Well, no, he's going to carry on, but this is such a rhythm circuit. When you start to lose that, and if you've never found the rhythm round here, it's likely that you just dislike this circuit quite a lot, or you've never had any good results here. If you don't find the rhythm round here, it's very, very difficult. And if you lose it, it's even more difficult to get it back. And that's what Dunneberg's got the challenge of doing now for the last 12 minutes. He's not going to get any more positions out of this, but he's got to find a way to cool his tyres down at a reduced pace, maybe just try and refine the rhythm again, and that will stand him in good stead for the next time he has to race round here. But he's lost the rhythm, unfortunately, and that's exactly what happens when you lose the rhythm round this circuit. It makes it very, very difficult indeed.
Yeah, it does. Haley and Davis have swapped places.
Yeah, by a long way as well.
Oh, okay.
Oh, hello. Pat Pelchat is just in behind. Davis. Oh, he makes contact. Wow. You've just got to wait for the GTP to come across your nose there and then accelerate just as they are. Sort of a bit of give and take, but unfortunately he just misjudged it there, Davis, and now he goes out to the outside. Sherman got out in 4th place, by the way, just ahead of Dale Green, and so now these two are fighting down in GTD-AM.
Yeah, they're having a nice little scrap on the rundown from 11 to 12. So, see how they go into 11 and 12, whether or not they're going to be able to make this through. Dale Green on the left. Sherborne in the Acura goes in a little bit hot. Dale Green's going to say thank you very much.
He certainly will. It's one of these circuits where you ideally do need to wait for the driver ahead to make a mistake, and if they do, then it's an extra position for free. There you go. That's Dale Green up to 4th position. I feel like these two should swap liveries, really. Dale Green should be in the green, and Sherburn should be in something else, but there you go. A real missed opportunity there for Dale Green, not in the green. Instead he's chosen some gold, black and white. I'm not sure what this is supposed to represent quite, but anyway, never mind. What?
I don't know. I like the fact that you've just had a conversation with yourself for the last 5 minutes about delivery. I do love that. Thank you.
I do that from time to time. Yeah, it's a missed opportunity in my opinion, and that's all I'll say. 4th place for him, and he should run away with that now, based on the pace they were showing with each other earlier on. Ed Eisenman's gotten away from Satterfield a little bit here. 2nd ahead now in the battle for 2nd in GTD-AM, just less than 3 seconds now behind the leader, Ricardo de Souza. This is what happened in towards turn 12. Chris Sherman, you can see immediately he's just broken too late there, can you really? And he only just makes the corner on the circuit, but he does lose the place pretty convincingly.
Yeah, he does, and now this is the closest battle on the racetrack at the moment. The Acura over the Porsche. Who's going to come out on top? And at the moment, it looks like the Porsche will do.
It does in towards turn 11. Oh, it's not the exit that Sherburn needed. Just a little bit of a slide on the exit there. The traction from the Porsche is always going to be difficult to overcome, but certainly if you're sliding around like that, it will be. Down the straight, the slipstream is going to start to bring him back again. The straight line speed will start to come into play because the Porsche's top end is not so great, but Sherburn had no intention of going down the inside there and just brakes a bit early. He will continue to apply the pressure to Dale Green, but he hasn't got very long left to do this now. Pat Pelchat is just behind them, I think, with 4 laps to go at the line here. It's going to be quite close, actually, but either 4 or 5 left.
Yeah, I just want to see how Pelchat was going to handle the fact that we've got LMP2, the a couple of minutes here. That's Mo's battle with Brandon Walker. Again, you can't see the apex going through that. No,
and as I spoke about earlier, you're on single screen, it's very difficult, and if you're in a prototype at all, it's very difficult. That is for sure. But Morrison is catching Walker, as you say. That could be a battle late on as they get up towards the line. It will indeed be 4 laps to go, not 5 now for Pat Pelchat. So there you go, 7 minutes 17 over the line as they go over. 4 still to go. Can Islam get close enough here to Walker? Because it will be 4 to go for these guys as well as they're being put a second lap down.
Walker's hit the sausage curb. Eddie on the outside there, Sam. We should go in a review very, very shortly at the top right corner. There he goes. Now we're coming into GDD traffic again. Goes without any problems. Pelchat just sliced through him, doesn't he? Like a hot knife through butter. He handles them very rarely. I can't remember one occasion where we've seen Pelchat have an incident with a back marker in any points, and there's some.
No, he's just been perfect so far. Absolutely. Dunneberg's into pit lane, by the way. Hopefully he's not retiring from the race, but has struggled in these last few moments, unfortunately. Looks like he might well be back on the sidelines pretty shortly. Morrison's had a very up and down race here today, but can he finally get on the upright late on here in towards turn 12? No. He had a look down the inside, couldn't quite do it. As up ahead there was a change for second in GTD Am. Adam Satterfield got past Ed Eisenring. I think that was down in towards, maybe it was those two couple of corners there, 12 and 13, but he's through. Yeah, it was into 13 by the looks of things. As Ed Eisenring got into the corner a bit too deep. Thought he looked late on the brakes. And he lets Satterfield through. Interesting.
Did he let him through, or did you think he didn't have a choice? Again, it's the same scenario. Satterfield's not really fighting in the championship.
Yeah, but just lose your points.
Yeah, but maybe for Eisenring.
Pretty costly.
Yeah, but maybe for Eisenring, finishing the race and losing a couple of points is more important than not finishing the race at all because he's had a fight with Satterfield.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that looked more like a slowdown to me, but he would only have done that by really cutting turn 12. Yeah, really cutting it. In towards turn 1. That's a big dive from Morrison, who has just gotten through on Brandon Walker. He got down the inside pretty aggressively there of Dale Green, who is still defending away from Sherburn. Oh, Sherburne's going to be dived there by Nathan Dowd, though, into the S's, and Ruby's going to go on Dale Green as well. Nathan Dowd being very aggressive there.
He definitely was. I thought Dale, the worst thing is when I saw Dale Green in the front, it looked like he was swinging across the wrong side of the circuit. But there we go. He clearly wasn't. Classes on the grid, on the track, 2 of them scrapping. Gonna do now. He's gonna wait. Sensibly, he would wait. I would wait as well.
Oh, he's gone wide. Morrison's gone wide. It's happened before. It's going to be 3 wide off the corner here. He's been too late on the brakes down there in the past of this race. Dow giving them as much space as possible to go and battle, and that's the absolutely smart thing to do. Walker will now go and take some of his slipstream, and he'll take the position as well with that. These LMP2s are not that much slower than the GTPs, as we've discussed plenty of times. But Islam is going to go back for it at the corner again. He's much better on the brakes towards turn 12 than he is at 11, that's for sure. Down the inside, he's on the outside for the next corner, though, as Walker really dives for the apex, tries to grab the apex immediately, and he takes the place. Islam will have a look down the inside again here, but he's going to be blocked by Walker. have to go for the exit, but that line isn't good enough through turn 15 to do that, and so he has to stay in 5th place for now. Nicholas Davis hasn't put enough fuel in, I think, which is how he was able to... or is he doing a drive-through? It's just a drive-through penalty, excuse me. It's not under fueling, it's just a drive-through penalty.
Yeah, he didn't stop there. He just went straight through. Miguel de Sousa, lucky enough, is a bit further down the road, but Walker and Islam still continuing to fight out here. This is for 4th and 5th in class. The last 2 places in the LMP2. What are they going to do here with this Porsche? Oh, Mo. Are they going to... Oh, I thought they were going to block him in behind, and then I thought they would split him like a sandwich. Oh. Tell you what, Mo Islam is like a source of heart attacks, isn't he, this week?
It's for you. I'm quite relaxed.
I get excited.
Anyway, through turn... Oh, he's not quite going to get him around the outside there to the inside the next corner. That's Satterfield, by the way, who's second in GTD. And maybe he was quicker than Eisenring anyway, but that looks like a battle settled. Here we go down towards turn 11 again. And there goes Perez down the inside. One of his teammates there, Walker, getting involved, but just doing his job, of course. That is Adolfo Perez looking to take 3rd place at the end of the day, and then Robert Cass just in behind as well, as these guys are now being lapped for the final time by a GTP. And there is only one more GT for them to get past as well.
Yeah, there is. Oh, number 42 in behind him. That's Robert Cass. Surely I would be playing game Mo Islam if I was in this team. Gotta be honest. Slowing him down and generally being a right complete pain in the bottom. Wouldn't want to...
It's not very sportsmanlike, is it?
No, but no, let's be part of the fun, right? You want realism in a simulator.
Well, not that bit.
Oh, come on. You would.
No.
If it was me and you, I would protect the hell out of you, Mr. O'Leary. Wouldn't worry what was going on.
I don't want to see that.
Well,
then effectively your position's just a false place anyway, isn't it? Islam's going to have a great chance towards turn 1 here now, because that was a bit wide from Walker. A much better run past Miguel de Sousa for Mo Islam, and there's going to be another chance in towards turn 1. Walker knows it. He pulls it over to defend on the inside line. This is the last lap, by the way. He holds the inside line. Good cutback from Islam, but Walker's just parked on the apex there in a good way. It's the long way round through turn 2 for Mo Islam. He's not going to stay alongside there, is he? No. He can't stay there, and he has to find somewhere else to make this move.
Yeah, he's going to have to, but I think at the moment Islam's in a really tight spot. I'm trying to see whether or not Andrew Parker is going to get one more lap here. There's a Porsche going off the side of the circuit in front of us. I believe that might be Nicholas Davis. Andrew Parker is going to possibly get one more lap here because he will stay ahead of Pelchat, who is on the final lap. So we're going to have to wait for that car to finish. But at the moment, Pelchat is coming in to the left-hander of turn number 12 in 13 and 14. Parker should get one more lap out of himself here. So he's well ahead in the LMP2 class. Pelchat on his way round turn 15.
Yep, it's... going to be another dominant victory for him. Satterfield has given up the place to Ed Eisenring, who's now up to second again. Don't know what's happened there, but anyway, we'll get back to that as Pat Pelchat is now coming through the final corners. He is on an unprecedented run now in this season of the Autobahn Sportscar Challenge. 5 in a row for Pat Pelchat in the GTP class of the Autobahn Sportscar Challenge for Season 14. A run that started all the way in the middle of December, continues to the middle of February with a race win here at Circuit of the Americas. Bradley Haley wins in GTD to take advantage of Ross Booth's absence and close in on some of the big championship margin that he has got to close in. And Miguel de Sousa has taken great advantage from Ed Eisenring and Adam Satterfield falling over each other in this last half an hour to take a great win for himself in GTD AM.
Yeah. The only thing is, Brandon Walker ended up in pit lane. Oh, no, hold on.
Maybe had a penalty.
Hold on.
No, also did as well. It just came in pit lane for some reason.
You know what's worse about that? The finishing line's there.
I know, but if he's got a penalty, then he's going to have that applied post-race anyway. So, I don't know what's happened there.
Yeah, but the finishing line's there.
But if he's got a penalty, then he's going to have that applied post-race anyway. So, I don't know what's happened there. So that is going to be 5th place, I think, for Walker at the end of the day. As you said earlier, their class leader still hasn't finished yet. This is a lap of honour now for Andrew Parfitt, who's going to do 31 laps as opposed to everybody else on 30 because of the lack of difference between a GTP and a LMP2 around this circuit in terms of speed. The race leader has only been lapped once by the race leader overall. So Andrew Parker's got time to enjoy this in LMP2. They all catch up to Carter Cunningham. Parker started the day 67 points behind, though. So it's going to be a big job for him to get back again. But he is going to take his first race victory of the season. And a thoroughly deserved one at that as well. Very well done to him, Andrew Parker, over the line. First win of the season in LMP2. Well, that is it for round 11 of the Autobahn Sportscar Challenge. It's Pat Pochat who takes 5 in a row here at Circuit of the Americas, ahead of Nathan Dowd, who's second again. Adolfo Perez on the podium again, ahead of Rob Cast and Dominic Turnenberg. Andrew Parker wins in LMP2 for the first time this season as well, ahead of Rob Tinsey, with Jake Cyphers on the podium. Mo Islam did indeed get classified ahead of Brandon Walker, as I suspected he might. Bradley Haley wins in GTD after a great battle with Dominic Zioli and Nicholas Davis, who had a late drive-through penalty. Miguel de Souza picks up the pieces from interviews for others to finish in 14th place and the GTD AM winner. Ed Eisenring takes advantage of Josh Wolf's issues today to finish second in class ahead of Adam Satterfield, who he made contact with earlier in the day. Chris Pies also made contact with a couple of drivers. He finished 17th overall, ahead of Dale Green, who just about held off Chris Sherburn. At 20th place was Shane Hunter, who we didn't see a lot of today, neither for not Tom Hammond. We did see Joshua Wolf's incident, unfortunately for him, and that has put him back a little bit in the championship now. Vatsbow and Caden Richardson retired from the race during it. Sheldon Rosenbaum, Robert Kansian, Mark Kudrowski and Ryan Wasilewski never competed in the race at all. They didn't even get onto the grid. Well, let's have a chat now to Pat Pochat, the man who's done 5 in a row now in the Autobahn Sportscar Challenge for season 14. Congratulations again, Pat, on another race victory, this time here at Circuit of the Americas. How does it feel to have scored 5 victories in a row now, by the way?
Yeah, man, it's feeling good. Looking good for the championship, and just keeping that in sight and trying to finish that cleanly more than anything, to be honest.
I suspect that you might have a chance to actually achieve that in 2 weeks' time, but we'll get back to that. Speaking of keeping a clean race, how difficult was that to do around here, both in terms of incident points for your own driving and also in terms of traffic racing other people?
Traffic here is always pretty horrendous, even in the best of leagues. Like here, traffic at Coda is always a bit of a nightmare. Either the traffic's on your side or it's not. So it wasn't on mine, to be honest. And I lost so much time to Nathan behind. So in the last stint, as for the incident points, it was okay. I got a 2 off tracks. I think just cold tires when I pitted. But apart from that, man, I think fairly clean race. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before we let you go?
I mean, as always, my team, Silpec Precision Racing. I mean, we are we're working hard and pushing since we got the P4 in the IMSA Global Championship in GTP. Well, we're pushing harder than ever to come back next season, even stronger. And Solpec and Abruzzi and all our sponsors, as always.
Well, great work from you and of course the team behind the scenes, and hopefully we'll see you again in a couple of weeks' time.
All right, thank you, guys.
Thanks very much, Pat Pochat there, the winner here tonight for the 9th time in his career, by the way, in the Autobahn Sportscar Challenge. He's edging himself towards the top 15 now in the all-time winners list. In GTD, Bradley Haley took victory here today. Congratulations, Bradley, on the victory. Now, I can't help but ask you about the moment in the race where you came out behind Nicholas Davis. Just tell us a little bit about the pit stop phase, what was going on there, and what you thought when you saw the Porsche had come out in front of you.
I had some issues with JRT. It's obviously a user error, but I keep putting in too much fuel, and I had 2 laps too much fuel at the end of the race, so I had a feeling And when I saw him come out, I was like, "Yep, I have too much fuel." So good on him for his pit strategy because he came out with hot tires and ready to go.
You were able to still take the win in the end, though, because you managed to keep away from the incident points first of all, which was a key point in his race. But I want to ask you a little bit about this season and your ambitions for the rest of it now. You're third place in the GTD drivers' standings, but you're also third with your team in the team's standings. Which is more of a focus, and how are you balancing the two?
I think the team for sure. We've done this series for several years. It's been a long time. We've never really put a team in the top 5, top 3 that I'm aware of. So that's going to be the focus for sure, is to get everybody as maximum points as possible, week in and week out.
Well, you've certainly got a chance at the more than the top 3, maybe even the team's title. We'll see how that goes over the next 3 rounds. But congratulations on the win, Bradley. Is there anyone you'd like to shout out before we let you go?
Not just the team, really. Obviously the Autobahn has been going on a long time. It's the only series I do with kids and family. It's great that they still have this series, so I'm really appreciative of that. And the team, Sector 5, has been doing a great job this year, and it's been a lot of fun. So thanks for broadcasting. Appreciate it.
Thanks very much. We'll hopefully see you in a couple of weeks, Bradley. But for now, congratulations on the win, and thanks for chatting to us. That was Bradley Haley, the winner of the G here tonight in Kota. Now then, let's go to GTD Am. Miguel de Sousa's been waiting longer, so we'll chat to him now as well. Miguel, welcome in. Good to have you with us as well. The one defining moment in the race for you was seeing the 2 drivers ahead of you spinning around, and you just picked up the pieces and picked up the lead. Just tell us about that moment and indeed what you were thinking at the time.
Yeah, I was thinking, I saw the 2 cars spinning. I'm like, oh, am I actually catching up? And then I passed by him. I'm like, no way, I'm getting away from them. It's a very new track to me. I got it tonight, so I knew I didn't have the pace, but I was keeping up and seeing the battle ahead. It's unfortunate that happened, but I'm super excited that I was able to keep the lead ahead of those guys who had pace. It was quite exhilarating and my first win here at Autobahn, so I'm super excited about that.
Oh yeah, congratulations on that. Just how did you find this circuit since you've not got much experience on it? I know it's got a bit of a love-hate relationship with a lot of people.
Yeah, no, I've been hearing a lot about that hate relationship with this track, and it is quite an interesting one. A lot of blind corners. You really got to memorize everything, so finding pace here is hard. So I see the challenges in it. But I'm the type of person that can learn to like a track, so I'm half right now. But it was an interesting track for me. It was fun, regardless.
You might be one of the only people who are 50-50 about the circuit. I don't know many people who are in the middle. No,
I'm not.
Well, you might as well keep it that way. It's clearly working. Congratulations on the win. Is there anyone you'd like to shout out before we let you go?
Oh yeah, I'd like to shout out my friend Tony for introducing me to the Composite Boys, and the Composite Boys introducing me to Autobahn, where our great leader Carter is having a great season here. So shout out to them and all their sponsors, Grid Engineering, P1 Docs, and Sim Labs. So great bunch of guys, and always fun hanging out with them. Absolutely. And my wife for supporting me. Can't forget that.
Stick that one in there. Well done.
Oh, that was a quick before I sleep on the sofa.
I snuck that one in.
Yeah, I felt she was there in the room with you, Miguel, and you were like, oh.
She was giving me the threats.
Oh dear. Well done on that, and well done on the win tonight. Thanks for coming to chat to us. We'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Thanks, guys. Keep up the great work. Take care.
Thanks very much. Miguel de Sousa there, avoiding a beating tonight.
Yeah, we might see him next week in Sebring. A couple of weeks. We might not. I don't know. We'll hope so. Andrew Parker is the winner in LMP2 here tonight for the first time this season. Congratulations on that, Andrew. Just how was the race here tonight? Your margin of victory was actually a lap in the end, but obviously the race was a bit closer than that. How did you find it? I'm not
Hello,
hearing
Andrew.
him.
Can you hear us?
Yes, I can. How you doing?
Oh.
There we go. All right. Sorry, I thought you couldn't hear us. Yeah, just tell us a little bit about your race. How it was out there tonight at Circuit of the Americas.
Well, for one, it was a little hot, so I had to be very careful on my inputs. Thanks to the P1 dock set, which was amazing.
Andrew?
And so I thought you cut out. Are you still there?
Has it cut out?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh,
So the P1 dock
he's still
set
there.
was really good. It handled the track conditions very well. I just had to be real smooth on my inputs because it got a little twitchy at a couple of points. Other than that, just trying to make it safe, trying to get too many X's.
Yeah, and just how difficult was that? We hear a lot about the incident points, and actually, someone in the GT class actually did have to do a drive-through penalty. How close were you? How difficult was it to keep the incident points down?
It was a little bit. I just backed up the braking points a little bit. I think I wound up with like 8x at the end, which is pretty good for trying to keep pretty good pace.
Yeah, that's very good going, by the way. Congratulations on that. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yes, to do P1 Docs, Sim Lab, Sim Gear, Grid, TAM Liveries, and everyone at Composite Formats for everything they've done and get me to where I'm at today.
Well, congratulations on the win, Andrew, and thanks for chatting to us as well.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks very much. Andrew Parker, the winner in LMP2, here tonight for the first time this season. Well, the Autobahn Sports Car Challenge hasn't been here for 5 seasons, actually, at Circuit of the Americas. I would say it was a pretty successful evening of racing on its return for the first time since season 9.
Yeah, and you never know. Hopefully, it will be 5 more years before we come back again. Just
You
putting it out
didn't
there.
enjoy it?
It's not. I just don't like the circuit. You know, it's a lazy man circuit. It's like somebody woke up and thought, we need to stick a circuit in Texas. So what we're going to do is we're going to nick all of these other circuits and we're going to make them work. I bet they sat there with all of the parts of all the other circuits that make up this circuit and put them in a jigsaw and then just moved them around the floor and thought, you know what, hold on, I'll see. 'Cause I'm pretty sure at one point the Mercedes Arena might have been even turn 1. You know, by the time they'd finished jiggling them backwards and forwards, and then they come up with this concept. I don't like it. I think it's not good. Cut off, steal parts from other racer.
We'll see how long it is until we come back again. As I say,
Well,
first
I'm
time
gonna
since
blame
season 9. I
Carter.
enjoy it.
Oh, I'm going to hashtag blame Carter then if we get it back longer than 5 years. Carter, if you're still
That's,
listening, 5 years, please.
That's what happens. We've had it 5 times in 14 seasons, so I think your chances of not seeing it again for 5 are relatively low if previous history is to go by. But we'll see how it gets on in the future seasons, of course. But anyway, as far as the rest of this season goes, we've still got 3 more rounds to go, and from 2 weeks' time, we'll have all of the drop weeks applied. We'll have everybody where they should be, and we will know just when and where each of the championships can be clinched and where they're going to be settled here over the course of the Autobahn Sports Car Challenge season for number 14. We're very much looking forward to it. We'll be live again just after 9 o'clock Eastern time at Sebring on the 3rd of March. That's our next round, so I very much hope you will join us for that one. For now, I've been Ewan O'Leary alongside James Parfitt. Until we see you there at Sebring, it's goodbye for now.